Hello and welcome. I think it's fair to say, even when laptops are designed to do something much more taxing and involved than simply looking up Facebook, we're still expecting them to look good. This kind of explains why the laptop that we're going to be taking a look at today, it kind of split reviewers down the middle when it released in 2013. On one hand, this Scan 3XS LG5, it's a tiny machine that packs a decent punch on the hardware side of things, which is great because on the other hand, it's not exactly what you would call a looker due to its thickness and its drab styling. If we take a look at this compared to something like an HP ZBook 17, you can just see how little thought went into the aesthetics of this little laptop. It really is small. Its small size also betrays the fact that it is actually quite heavy, even though it looks like an Ultrabook. But the 3XS Graphite LG5 isn't looking to make a name for itself with aesthetics, it's all about what's inside. And this is exactly what drew me to it back in 2013. I purchased this new for about £650, and looking online today, it looks like it's become a bit of a rare beast, but I have seen a few hovering around the £250 mark over the last few months. So what made me open my wallet 3 years ago, you ask? Well, this laptop was designed from the core up as being an ultra portable gaming laptop, and it still actually packs a bit of a punch where it matters most. It packs an Intel Core i5 3230M, which was released in the first quarter of 2013, and this is a dual core, 4-threaded 22nm Ivy Bridge processor running at a base clock at 2.6 GHz with a maximum boost clock of about 3.2 GHz. Although in this really small form factor the frequency is rarely held up at that level for long. While the Core i5 it is a great option for any modern laptop, especially a gaming one, it's the graphics department in this LG5 that separated it from other notebooks at the time. So the GPU, it runs at 833 MHz, it allows us to play with 384 CUDA cores. Coupled to that is 2GB DDR3 RAM, and this meant that it was a more than capable companion to the i5 back in 2013, especially in the context of the screen. This machine is all about gaming performance. Pairing the 650M with a relatively low screen resolution, it equates to allowing us to still run really healthy frame rates in games. So let's throw a few games at it and see how it performs. We're going to be running all these tests at the native resolution of 1366 by 768, so without further ado, let's see if this 3-year-old laptop it can still scratch that gaming itch. So first up, as you've probably noticed in the background, I've run the Tomb Raider benchmark just to see how it copes with what would be considered a AAA title from around the time of its release. And in short, it performs excellently in this, to be honest with you. The benchmark gives us about 60 FPS when we're playing a game. We get a little bit below that, but it's still really playable. Next up is Skyrim. Now, this is how I plugged the majority of my 80 plus hours playtime into the RPG. It was on this laptop. We can run a solid 60 FPS, and being able to play on the go was absolutely mind-blowing for me at the time, especially when I was coming from what was considered the terrible port on the PlayStation 3. Likewise, Far Cry 3 can be run with most of the eye candy turned up, although we did struggle to maintain a locked 60 FPS on occasion. Locking the frame rate to 30 FPS is probably the best idea, because that's a bit more acceptable when you're gaming on the go, and it still makes the game look great. A newer title now, Fallout 4, and for the most part it is playable at over 30 FPS on the lower settings, and it still offers a great way to play. It's a lot more demanding than something like Skyrim, but if you're somebody that travels a lot, it is still a fantastic way to play. Playing at the lower settings, however, it does lose some of that next-gen sheen, so I would suggest perhaps try to lock it at 30 FPS instead of chasing that 60 FPS and just have a few more bits of eye candy turned on. Finally, we've got GTA 5. Now, if you've ever played GTA 5, you'll know it's fairly adaptable when it comes to your PC's specification, but I wasn't really sure how the LG5 would actually cope with it. In gameplay, we turned out just above 30 FPS at its preset settings, and on the whole it was actually really impressive being able to play this AAA title from just a couple of years ago on such a small laptop. The native resolution, it really does help though in this respect, and it gave this laptop a bit of staying power, and it's a shame that products like this have seemed to have fallen out of favour in the market. This push towards 4K and higher resolutions, it seems to be happening at such a faster rate than the hardware that is supposed to support it is developing. This means that so much new laptops sporting these latest and greatest displays, they leave a lot of gamers having to play in sub-native resolutions, which can often introduce scaling artifacts, or even worse, it forces the buyer to spend hundreds more to get a specification of laptop that will actually run the software at its native resolution. So in closing, I mean, this laptop is by no means perfect. It runs really hot, its battery life is only a few hours, and it's hard to come by in the used market. But if you can find one, and don't mind the bland looks and can appreciate the benefits of a sub-HD resolution, then you might just have found yourself a cheap and capable travel companion. So thanks so much folks for watching. I'm going to be tearing down this laptop next week for another video about laptop maintenance and restoring the lost horsepower. So if you want to see that, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it or disliked it, you'll know what to do, and I'll see you next time.